Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. In today's video, guys, we're going to be diving down into the world of Polygon's Matic to see exactly what's been going on with the price action. We can see that we've reached new all-time highs today, so we're going to dive down and see exactly what's going on. If you find this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at these charts. Okay guys, so we're going to start things off with our weekly chart. This is a really important one for Matic. We've obviously seen some pretty good price action so far, good all-time high being hit today. So it's important that we actually take a look and take stock of this weekly position so we understand what could potentially happen next. Okay, so here we have pretty much the Matic bull run, right? It actually started back in March of 2020 and we were heavily oversold in that position on the stochastic RSI. Now for the most part, wave 1 and 2 wasn't exactly an exciting time. Not a lot was going on, not a lot of people were building on Polygon's Matic, and it wasn't really until Ethereum's price started to go absolutely insane did we start to see those transactional volume really kick in, and we actually started to see Polygon's Matic absolutely fly. Okay, so we actually seen very significant gains from the low areas of March 2020 through to where we were in the high area of May 2021. This actually saw 42,500% in gains. To put that into perspective, Bitcoin moved 1,600% in that same time period. So we obviously know that Matic has performed incredibly well for the portfolio. We saw a small pullback here within wave 4. Now I say a small pullback in relation to how it actually had performed. We actually take a look at this. If you did FOMO in late, you had to endure or sell at a loss depending on what your strategies are, a loss of basically 77%. It was pretty significant, and a lot of people were calling this a bit of a bear market. Now obviously what we actually saw here was this A, B and C wave then turned impulsive, so we actually knew this was a fourth wave correction ahead of a fifth wave. This is really important that we understand this because it meant that we weren't panicking in this particular area of time, and in fact we were calling this just a fourth wave correction with all-time highs still to come. And again, that's exactly what we see hit right now. We actually can take a look at this in an interesting way. We had a good push to the upside here, a pullback. Again, this was the month of September, which was a self-fulfilling prophecy. We then obviously you can see that we pushed up, we pulled back again, and then we started to push up. Right now we've got to try to make sense of these recent moves, and to do that we're going to take a look at the daily chart to really make sense of what's going on there. But for the most part, we also need to acknowledge the low area of wave 2, the high area of wave 3, and the low area of wave 4. These three things compiled together show us a 4.236 extension on the trend-based fib at $12. So we can see that there's some pretty interesting kind of gains to be made here, about 326% or so. So some pretty interesting kind of stuff to come. So let's actually jump on down into our daily chart here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this, and we can see that actually, we had this ABC with an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, I should say, coming to the downside. Okay, so we actually had the initial pullback from May, pulling us right down into this low area. This then set us with a big A wave up, a big wave down, a B down, and then a big C wave up. Now, when we actually zoom on out here, we can actually take a look at this and reflect on the progress that has been made. We take that fib, we'll go run it down here, and we'll go ahead and move this over to here, and we can see that actually we came pretty much exactly where that C wave would be expected, right on top of that 786, and got the rejection. And obviously this is an interesting area, and that most of the time that these kind of fib areas, specifically the 618, the 702, the 786, these three key areas are rejection points, and pushing past them tend to be actually more bull flags. Once you get a close candle above that 786, you tend to lead on to all-time highs, or at least getting decent kind of recovery and at least higher than you were before you actually led into your corrective phase. So ultimately this ABC move to the upside was standard, the C wave mirroring that of the A wave, and it took us right up into that 786. It was at this point that September came, so we were looking for that pullback anyway, and we saw an impulsive move down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This led into an ABC up, a little bit of uncertainty in the middle here with a price drop, and then a big of a push to the upside with an ABC. This led to an ABC down, which then triggered an impulsive move up, which is where it takes us to where we are today. Here we can see that we're at the top of this fifth wave after going impulsive with an ABC here, going and turning it into a 1 through 5. We can see that topping out right now up here. Now, the other thing that's really important to acknowledge is we're overbought on this daily chart in the same way that we're overbought on that weekly chart. This is a good turning point. This is a place where we actually start to see reversal in the market and we start to wipe out that stochastic RSI. Okay, so before we actually talk about that in detail on our daily chart, I think it's important that we also jump into our hourly chart. Okay, it's important that we acknowledge that a step back is likely to occur. Here we can see that we're expecting the ABC down. If I actually just put that back, put it back. There we go. As you can see, we had the top of wave C that I thought was about here, and then I was expecting a reversal. This actually was a 1-to-1 ratio. Instead, it turned impulsive, taking us up into that 1 through 5. So you can see that the last time I was here, we were actually expecting a reversal to happen a little bit sooner. It came a little bit later. We saw the ABC. But obviously, here we are in this new area of high. Now, has this actually completed? I don't think so. Obviously, we are overbought on our daily chart and we're overbought on our weekly chart. On the macro view, we are looking for a reversal, but our hourly chart is not there and it is not ready for this just yet. Instead, we have got to continue this push with this fifth wave. So this fifth wave has not yet fully completed yet. Okay, so what we're actually looking for here is a bit of a C wave. So here we have our A wave. We can see this little bit of a pullback right now, taking us into this low area for wave B, and then we'll look for that wave C high, which should complete our fifth wave. Okay, so as we come down and we push this up into here, we'll assume that we're actually going to come back down a little bit lower, but for now I'll put it here and we'll put that C wave actually right where we have our fifth wave, and I'll put our C wave there. We'll adjust this in the future if we need to, but it could actually show us moving out towards $3.29 on that fifth wave before we potentially start to see a bigger ABC to the downside. And again, it would be a bigger ABC move. We'll be looking at a decent correction in at that point, but for now we're actually looking for a minor correction and then a push to the upside, completing this fifth wave. As we can see here, we have the ABC coming down after a bit of a double top, actually, an ABC motion here to the upside inside of this kind of motion. And then obviously we have that coming down. So I'm just going to pop that. It's actually there, but I'm just going to move it to the side so we can see that a little bit clearer. And what we actually have here is a very definitive A, B, and C move right inside here. And now we're looking to find that definitive B wave inside this push to the upside here. Okay, in a very similar way that you see one inside this section. And also, you know, if this is our top, that we actually had some kind of volatility at the top end here as well. So if this was an ABC turning impulsive, then actually what we're looking for here was a fourth wave and a fifth wave. So interesting stuff, I think, is happening here on that kind of micro scale. But overall, the outlook here for 𝗕𝗃's actually looking pretty bullish, right? We've got a good tendency to kind of go up. We are looking for a pullback, and if we actually run that fib from that high point down to our low point here, if I do it the other way around, which would actually be more helpful, more useful. We do it this way around. We can actually see the 618 should actually take us down to the 618 actually coming in at $2.61. Now, right now, we're actually resting on that 236. So effectively, if we actually flip it the other way around, that's a 786, but it's 23.6% retracement. So not a lot, right? And we are potentially on the horizon of coming down a little bit more, but right now, that stochastic RSI is not going to support such a move unless we have continuation here. Okay, so as we zoom on in and we actually focus in on this move, we can actually see a little bit more of a pullback. Okay, so we have, if I actually grab the right tool for the job here, we'll just grab hold of my ABC move. Here we can see there's an A, we have a B, and we'll actually track that C wave. So I'm going to just quickly remove this off here for a second, and we're just going to grab hold of our Fibonacci retracement tool. We're going to grab it, and we're just going to pop it on here. This is a really small move, but we're going to make sure that we get it right. And actually, we can see that C wave coming down to maybe $2.73. And if we actually do that and we take it from that high point, that would actually take us into that 382 area right here. Okay, so again, that would be a 38.2%. Move on a retracement. That would actually be a pretty good B wave correction before we get that continuation to the upside. So I'm going to just quickly remove that. We obviously have our retracement zone just here. And what we want to do is actually take this and we'll throw that on to that low point, to that high point. We can see it there. And then we'll go ahead and move it up to here. We can actually see that fifth wave still coming in about $3.29, $3.30 in that range. So that's a pretty safe bet in my area and to be focusing in on. There's no guarantee of anything, obviously, but it's a good place to be focusing in on so that we have a good idea as to where things are likely to go. With this slightly bigger move of an A, B, and C. Okay, so it could take a couple of days or so, but it's looking pretty good. At that point, I would expect once we get that fifth wave completed, to see a much bigger A, B, and C to the downside, finding good support. And obviously, there's no guarantee of a deeper pullback. It could be very quick. It could be very shallow. We'll know more once actually we start to form the A wave. We'll be able to see where the B wave and the C wave are likely to go. So we'll leave that off for now. But everything on Polygon's Matic setting new all-time highs, looking pretty good right now. Good outlook, you know, in the macro picture as well. But we are looking for a pullback, right? We are heavily overbought on our weekly chart, on our daily chart. We're looking to have this last push to the upside, taking us up into overbought on our hourly chart, and then we should start to see the pullback. And in that will be another opportunity to accumulate more Matic. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there, keep it nice and short. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.